Here's some dietitian-approved advice to keep in mind. Choose guacamole over queso. On air and online to go ahead and send us your photos and use that hashtag KENS5Eyewitness. You can use that on Facebook and Twitter. And send us the weather photos near you. We want to know what's happening where you are. Whether you believe in ghosts or you're a skeptic, you can take our interactive 360 tour and decide for yourself. Swipe to explore haunted places in the area and select a video to reveal the haunted history. Whether it's binoculars, telescopes, or sunglasses, NASA says to check for an ISO number on the product showing it meets safety standards. You can kind of really dig deeper. The first episode's about 20 minutes long, kind of setting the stage for it.
How difficult do you think that would be to kind of distinguish between the two?
You can also tweet Texas Governor Greg Abbott, justices of the Supreme Court of Texas, and other government officials. So if you want to get in touch, visit their pages and send them a tweet or a private message. Google says internet safety is one of the most crucial issues the next generation will face, so it wants to teach kids to be internet awesome. The KENS 5 app is your source for all things Final Four.
Well, believe it or not, eating tacos and other Tex-Mex favorites can be good for you when you have the right ingredients.
That's the key. Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Welsh shows us a tortilla that is both nutritious and delicious.
It's a very, very deep blue, the color of the tortillas or even the chips.
They don't look like any other tortilla, and they don't taste the same either.
The flavor is sweeter than the rest of the corn.
Blue corn tortillas even come with health benefits.
The minerals, the antioxidants, the protein.
While there's high demand, the Sanitary Tortilla Company can't make blue corn tortillas or blue tortilla chips every day.
We have been in the market for almost 92 years. We make tortillas, we make chips, we make tacos and chalupas.
The process is about the same as making the traditional white or yellow, but there's simply not enough blue corn to go around.
Every day more and more chefs from the different restaurants, hotels, they asking about the blue corn. It's very rare. The market is very high. You have to pay maybe 3 or 4 times more than the regular corn.
It's mostly grown in New Mexico, and when you can get it, experts say blue corn is the healthiest option for tortillas and tortilla chips.
The color that makes blue corn blue actually is a pigment called an anthocyanin, which is an antioxidant. So that's a benefit. However, when you cut it down and you fry it as a corn chip, it's a corn chip.
You can make Tex-Mex food more calorie conscious.
Here's some dietitian-approved advice to keep in mind. Choose guacamole over queso, opt for black or pinto beans, not refried beans, and of course, choose corn tortillas over flour.
We really want to make sure that we're just being mindful of our portions. It starts with the chips that come on the table.
Don't stress because it's not all bad for you. Tex-Mex food can be high in protein.
We have a lot of good quality meat, beans, corn, high in fiber. All of these options can go really well together. When possible, to include a vegetable. If you can opt for a whole grain, a brown rice over white rice.
You can still enjoy your favorites as long as you make some healthy choices along the way. Stacey Welsh, KENS 5 Eyewitness News. Drive down Bandera Road and you'll find a veteran with American pride unparalleled to many. What you won't know just by looking at him is that he was part of a story thousands did not live to tell.
A long time ago, man. Jesus Christ.
One of the most atrocious war crimes in history, the Bataan Death March, has since dropped from the minds of many today. But the scars from the 65-mile march of torture and death still sit in 99-year-old Trinidad Martinez's mind.
You have to keep going.
Events leading up to the march started after the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor during World War II.
Roughly 90% of the participants either died during the march or died since. It turned out that MacArthur's Philippine army was entirely unready. The troops were not trained, they didn't have weapons, there was no stockpile of food or medicine or ammunition. So on April 9th, the commander of the forces on Bataan, General King, surrendered.
And the Japanese had no respect for surrender.
These were soldiers no longer. They had surrendered. They were beneath contempt. They started marching them north to eventually putting them on trains and taking them to a place called Camp O'Donnell. The march, and including the train route, is what's called the Death March.
It's not clear exactly how many endured the march, but it's estimated thousands of troops died along the way. They were executed if they could not continue marching.
They tried all the people dead. Why, I don't know. They never touched me.
The United States used the march as propaganda against the Japanese to inspire Americans to join the war effort. The treatment was so brutal, and Martinez says he became so exhausted that some thought he was dead when he arrived at the prison camp. Somehow, he managed to wake up.
When they got them off the train, the dying and the dead were pulled off to one side, and then the rest of them would be marched to the camp. If he was unconscious and looked dead, he would have just been tossed into this pile with the other bodies.
He believes he survived because he never faltered.
I had my own 2 containers of water. I just put it in the mouth. But they tried to go get water. That's really bad, man. But I make it all the way.
Martinez was awarded more than a dozen medals during his time in the military.
This was a real and a very important chapter in American history, in world history, and for us to forget it, I think is a mistake.
There may not be much time to hear the stories of survivors. For the first time, Martinez and his family are headed to the commemoration of the Bataan Death March in New Mexico. It's the 75th anniversary. They're hopeful his story won't be forgotten.
God bless America.
I started telling people to call for help because the water was rising so fast and I felt like we were running out of time.
A viral, desperate plea answered. One Houston Harvey victim is sharing a harrowing tale of survival.
Digital journalist Stacey Welsh shows us why the woman's rescue would not have been possible without the help of strangers on social media.
It's just really hard.
Lakeisha Monroe lost her home and nearly everything she owns in the devastating Houston floods, and she wasn't sure her family would even survive.
I've just never been through something like that in my life. I've never been that scared in my life.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, Monroe says watching floodwater rush into her home was like a bad dream, or a movie she never hoped would become her reality.
The closest thing I can come to is the Titanic. That's just how I felt.
As floodwaters rushed to the roof of her home, Monroe started snapping photos. A friend posted them on Facebook, sending out a call for help, and the call was answered.
They got in contact with the National Guard. Helicopters were coming. They were trying to rescue us, but it was so many people. And finally, a boat passed by, and they saw us. We were able to go to a boat too, maybe about 2 exits down.
More than 150,000 people shared the post and spread the word.
I just want to thank everybody. That share button saved my life.
Stacey Welsh, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Roll call. It's usually where officers in training share more about themselves so fellow officers can get to know them. Well, in the case of San Antonio police officer Billy Morgan, his rendition of Folsom Prison Blues went viral. Here's digital journalist Stacey Welsh.
When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. That song for me is always a crowd hit, like whenever I play anywhere. I know it's a song about going to prison, but you know, it's one of my favorite Johnny Cash songs.
One roll call, I saw the guitar sitting on a table. I asked him, "Oh, you gonna play us a song?" Jokingly.
But that train keeps rolling on down the San Antonio.
Sure enough, he played us a song, and I started recording because I thought it was going to be something funny was going to happen. I posted it on Facebook. I thought it could bring a positive reflection on police. This was the first time I heard anybody sing at a roll call. I actually didn't think it was going to get that viral.
It was right before shift, so everybody's, especially new guys, we're all thinking about what we're going to be doing for the day. Our job's so serious, so it's fun to get a laugh in at roll call before we hit the streets. I was a professional musician here in town when I got out of the Air Force, but I absolutely do it for enjoyment. On a Monday, I was arrested. On a Tuesday, they put me into jail. I love singing rock and roll music from like the 50s and 60s.
I found out that he was an Elvis impersonator by one of his classmates.
That's all right, Mama, we're just staying away you do.
I've been training for about 5 years. They're at the same central substation. They might call you out just to break the ice. He played very well. I was extremely proud.
I feel very honored to be able to represent something positive. We're just regular blue-collar folks.
Far from Folsom Prison, I swear I'd want to stay.
Just like everyone else, and we want them to know that, you know, that we joke around, we have fun, you know, we care about people just as much as they do.
And I'd let that lonesome